Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay. Shiki's gonna come later, the review. I got a lot of shit to do. Kenichi came out. I'm probably gonna do a double shot. Yeah, double shot. Do this. Fairy Tail review, chapter review, and then I will do the Kenichi review. Okay. Fairy Tail, chapter 287. Now, a lot of stuff happened in this chapter. Now, I took a look. King of Lightning? He said rape. Okay, that was a little woo. He went real crazy there, but all right. I'm going to say this, okay? The biggest fear I had with this chapter, the biggest fear, I thought, oh my god, is Hiro gonna fucking troll Laxus? Oh man, he's gonna fucking troll him. Oh, I would be so pissed. That didn't happen. However, he did troll. That's the way I look at it. He didn't troll Laxus, but he did troll. He trolled everything. But let's get into it right now. Okay, getting into it. We got the beginning scene, special anti-fairy tale guild. Laxus is saying, and Fairy's like, exactly. Our members are all use magic that fairy tale members are weak against. And we're the top 4. You intend to fight, and this is Ivan talking, you intend to fight with us? We'll release the power we've stored up for 7 years, you know. We know all about your weaknesses. And this is what Laxus says. He says, the old man's already finished investigating you. The number of members, location of your guild, capital, your movements over these 7 years. He got it all. And he's like, what? And Flair's like, it's got you. He plotted this. Fucking hate Flair. I fucking hate her. Stupid bitch. So he was a double spy, Ivan says. The old man knew it all, yet he didn't do anything. And there's a conversation. We get a little flashback here with Laxus and Makarov. They're talking, and he says, "You really sure it's alright to leave them be? You said that they had information that would be disadvantageous to Fairy Tail, right? 7 years have already passed since then, but there's no trace of the net news being spilled over these past 7 years." And then Laxus is like, you can't be sure of that. Yes, I can, because he knew the danger that comes with speaking of that information. Well, what is it? And he says, and Makarov's telling him, you don't need to know. All guilds have spots that must never be touched upon. Over these 7 years, I've learned that again they were spelling his name. Ivan's done no wrong and brought no danger to our members. As long as he doesn't move, then I don't intend to irritate things. And going back to present, Laxus says he probably trusted you in some corner of his heart since your family. Moving right along, and then Ivan's like, silence! And then right off the gate, he's throwing the shinigamis that he has. Because that's his power, that's his magic, supposedly. Ivan's able to use shinigamis, those paper things, you know, that are like, he uses them as like a communication device. He uses them to create false clones of himself or of other people to create illusions. And he uses it he says silence, and he attacks Laxus with it, and he hits him. And he's saying, Ivan's like, I've lived in the shadows all for this day, all in order to acquire the lumen is still there. I can't even say that right. Brought no dangers for 5 years. No danger for 7 years? Of course not. There's no way any of those leftover scrubs would have information on the Lumen is there. And then he's going on saying, not in the guild, not in the town, not on Turner Island. I searched all places connected with the guild, and I still didn't find it. Where's the Luminous Stair? Where is it? Tell me, Laxus. You're my son, aren't you? And then he commands OBRA get him, erase his magic. Now is the time for the Anti-Fairy Tale Guild to release its power. So this is the guy that took out Wendy and Charles. And this is when shit gets real. Laxus out of nowhere just charges right at OBRA and kicks him. Now, I want to say one thing. The King of Lightning, I agree with you on this point. OBRA got trolled. OBRA. That's what I'm agreeing on. So I'm agreeing on that point. That is the, I'm sorry, I really don't want to say this, but that is the only person, I'm sorry, but this is the way I feel. The only person that got trolled was OBRA. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably going to get some hate, and people are going to say, no, it's bullshit, no. But that's the way I feel. The reason I say that is this, Flair. So what? Flair, to be perfectly honest, be 100% clear on this. Flair, Naru Pudding, they're scrubs. I'm sorry. They're scrubs. They're scrubs. They're scrubs. They can't hold a fucking candlestick to Laxus. That's the way I look at it. And that Hebe guy, same thing. He's a scrub too. You have 3 members of Raventail that are in this tournament that are scrubs. I'm sorry. But that's the way I look at it. Against Laxus, it's a whole different ballgame. Teaming up against Laxus, it would have been different if OBRA eliminated his magic. Canceled it out. He didn't do that. And that's why Raventail got trolled. Because OBRA got trolled. That was the whole point. Okay? Moving right along. Like I said, he gets kicked. OBRA gets kicked. He's in the head. He's falling down. And we get Flair and Naru Pudding. Naru Pudding's actually Needle Blast. And Flair's like red hair. And then we get a lot of interesting moves. Laxus backs away. He jumps over Flair, I think. Like a flip. And backflips. And then looks at Naru Pudding and says, this is for Gray. And he just fucking smashes him into the fucking ground. Got him. And then you got Flair. This is for Lucy. And it's just a huge fucking lightning blast right at Flair. I was like, yeah! When I first read this chapter, I was so pumped up when I saw this. Because I hate it. Yeah. So this is for Lucy. And then I was like, impossible! And then, moving right along, then we see that EB guy. And then Laxus looks at him and he says, you're the one I don't get. Psh, and he just chars him. Fucking chars him. And I was like, my elite forces! Sorry I'm laughing. It's just funny because when you really think about it, what's Sunday? Father's Day. Okay. Here we have a chapter of Fairy Tale where Laxus beats up his own father. Some Father's Day gift, don't you think? Anyway, moving right along. And he says, my elite forces, I don't know what you're after, Laxus is saying, but I have to deal with you for taking out my allies. What? I'm your father. We're family. You're going to... You're over. And then Laxus is like, Fairy Tale is my family. And then just, boom, a kick. And he just throws him, kicks him all away. And he just goes through the illusion and hits the wall. And that's the end of the illusion. Everyone has been knocked out. And they're all on the ground. And everybody can see it. So we got a bottom slide which says, and then the announcer says, what the? And then you see Natsu and Gray and Laxus. Laxus disappeared. Is this a different Laxus? And once again, they're saying the same thing. Still calling him Iwan. It's not Iwan. It's Ivan. And then Bisco says, why? The others two, it can't be. They can't believe that it was a thought projection that got us. What's going on here was Master Iwan. And then And then they're saying, oh, the Laxus and Laxus who just lose fighting illusions. Laxus is the one standing. Battle's over. And when we weren't looking, the 5 were attacked. As himself even took part of the battle. This is against the rules. I'm out of your look at it. And then we get another interesting thing with Orga. He's watching. He's watching Laxus. He's interested. And he says, oh, Fairy Tale's full of monsters. Regardless of what happened, the winner is Laxus for Fairy Tale Team B. And Gray says an interesting comment. He says, hey, you managed to take him. We managed to have him take out our enemies. And then Laxus like, he took them all out. Now he's just going to stand out. And then, here's the funny thing about the chapter I just did not understand. Lucy. What did she say? I just hope nothing bad happens to that girl Flair. And then Urza looks at her and says, you're a really nice person. Like, she fucking owned you. She was embarrassing you in your match, and you're saying it. So, moving right along. I think the reason why it says I win is because this is manga stream, but I don't know. Anyway, Markov says, how could you stoop so low, Ivan? Moving right along. Mavis is looking on, so she's in what's going on, and then Ivan says, Laxus, this time I admit defeat, but just remember this. Lumen is the darkness of Fairy Tale. Someday the time to learn about it will come. The time to learn about the truth of Fairy Tale. Moving right along, he looks at him, and the guards come, and they're coming with us. And he says, what is this guy? And if that creature comes out again, that creature that was in the OBRA, and he says, let us meet again, Fairy Tale. Kiki! So he was laughing like that. And it's been decided that, they've been disqualified. You know what's funny? They're not going to be able to fight in the games for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. So, can you imagine? That blew me away. 3 years? Wow. Present results will continue with the 4th match and final match. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I talked to somebody on Skype about this and said, oh, would it be interesting if Wendy fought somebody from Lamia Scale, the female girl from Lamia Scale? Guess what? She is. So the final match of the day is going to be Wendy. Her last name's Marvel. And she says, I'm done changing. And Lamia Scale, Chelia Blendy from Lamia Scale. So that's going to be the story. That's what it's going to fight. And we got that guy from the Magic Council says Wendy, and Leon says interesting things about Chelia's strength. I imagine Gray's going to be surprised. Your thoughts are clearly elsewhere. And then this Chelia, she's going out. She says, okay, I'm going out. And she falls over and trips herself. And then Wendy's like, are you all right? And she falls too. And everyone's laughing at them. It's like, oof. And they trip on themselves. She said, let's have a good battle. Yes, let's. And that's what happens there. Mavis says something interesting during this regard. She says, that's Chelia girl's magic. So there's something about her magic that Mavis is intrigued about. We don't know what that's about, though. Okay, so moving right along, this is looking to be a very cute battle. The old man's going to root for you both. Hoo-hoo. Okay, moving right along. A development at the final page of this chapter. Yeah. He says, and we see him, and we see Altair and Meredy, and says, this magic, yes, Zareth. And it says, has the plot squirming in the shadows of the festival finally started to move. And he says to them, Altair and Meredy are to wait, don't move toward the arena. And it just says, 288, Wendy versus Chelia. You know, he's basically telling Wendy, Melody, and L tier, wait, don't move. Don't move toward the arena, toward the arena, I guess. And that's how it ended. Now, 15 minutes, wow. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Now, I don't want to go against King of Lightning. You did good review. It's understandable. I understand where you're coming from. But like I said, there was one troll. OBRA. OBRA got trolled, and that's why Raventail got trolled. That's the way I look at it. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but that's what I think. Tell me what you guys think. Comments below. You know the story. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Things are turning, so we're going to get something good. I understand King's gripe. I understand how some people might think, oh, they got a troll. It was rape. Rape. Like, what the fuck, man? Really? Rape? But you have to look at it this way. And this is the way I look at it. Laxus. I know he said, I know what King said, and I understand that. But Laxus. You have to understand something. Flair? Nara Pudding? Hibby? They're trash. I'm sorry. They're not up to that level of Laxus. They're not. It would have been different if he eliminated the Magic. If he eliminated Laxus Magic, then Laxus would have lost. I probably would be saying, ugh. But I see where the trolling is coming into play because Laxus obviously didn't get hurt. He didn't get hit. He didn't seem to take any damage. And I understand that. But I personally think this was a great chapter. I liked it. There's more mystery coming in. Things are cooking. Things are clicking. I like that. Things are moving up. So yeah. 4 out of 5. Thought it was a good chapter. What'd you guys think? Comments below. After this, I've got some other things to show. Shiki review. Oh yeah. Shiki review. Kenichi review. Yeah, Kenichi review. And I guess I'll get around to the XL World. So yeah. See you guys later.